Hey, if you can hear me, let me know if you can hear me. Just working on some boots. Let me get some. Hey guys, if you can hear me, let me know. Just all honesty, trying to figure out what's going to be better to get on. If it's going to be better to do these in the morning or do these in the afternoon. So if you're just hopping on here, let me know if you can hear me. I'm assuming you can. Iceland, what's going on, Iceland? Cool. Looks like they're doing some construction work out there. But I'm just trying to figure out if it's going to be better to do these videos lives in the morning or in the afternoon. I need to take my hat off so you guys can see a little better. So yeah, that's one of the things. So if you have any suggestions as to what you'd prefer, let me know, and I'll kind of try to figure it out. See what all we're doing. Because in all honesty, it doesn't really matter to me. I'm at the shop early in the morning. I'm at the shop about between 6 and 6:30. And I'm here till about 3 in the afternoon, a little bit later. So just let me know. Because I want to do a live video where we just sit down, just talk about boots, talk about some different brands and stuff like that. And maybe, show you guys a little bit more as to what we do, show you a little bit more behind the scenes on the custom boot side. Because, I mean, this is just a repair. But we also build boots. And so, that's something you guys are interested in, or talking about just different boot brands and what we prefer and stuff like that. Just let me know. We'll go from there. This particular pair of boots here is actually one of the, this is like one of those Canadian, Boulé, one of those Canadian brands. They're actually not bad. This is probably the second or third pair of these boots that I've done. And they're not bad. Looks like they did some sort of those midsoles. Trying to see if this is like particle board. Yeah, this is like a particle board midsole, and then the leather outsole. I won't be doing that. I'm just doing the leather. Just doing leather. Let's see what we can do. Appreciate the likes. Somebody last time I was on here was asking me about those super chat things, and I didn't know Honestly, didn't know much about it until I had to look at it after the fact. And so they're activated now for those of you that decide you want to support the channel. So obviously appreciate it, but it's not gonna beg you for it, you know. So I'm just taking off the old cork here, and we're gonna put some new one in there. But really this time is just a chat, you know, and I don't know if it's too early for some people because it's only, I mean, it's 8:40 here, but it is during the week. So I understand people have to work, you know, understand people got stuff they got to do. And we're still trying to get that YouTube thing situated. Not a huge fan of these footbeds, I tell you. There's not a lot really. Oh. But if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Ask away. I'll be happy to answer. Doing a little bit of boring stuff here, pulling some stitches out. But no, last time we had this live, we were talking to some of the people that were jumping on, and they were saying, you know, we should call it soul or something like that. I can't even remember, man. I have to go back and look. But appreciate the love. Appreciate you guys stopping by. We're just working, trying to get some stuff done. Just had a little bit of coffee this morning. Figured I'd just pop on here, trying to figure out what time is best. What time do you think would be better for lives? Because I can either do, I guess we can do between 8 and 9:30, and then it won't be, and then from 3 to 3:30. So that's really the only times we have, unless it's just like off the whim kind of thing. But if it's going to be fixed, it'll have to be one of those times. I say between 9 and 9:30 in the morning, Eastern time, or 3:30 Eastern time. So if you got any suggestions, let me know. Let me see. But if you're watching on here and you can hear me, let me know where you're watching from. We got somebody from Iceland on here. So that's always cool. Working on these Boule boots. They're not bad. Personally, I don't really care too much for this, what they call the spur guard, because a lot of times these boots have a tendency to come on stitch right there. Here, I'm just picking up the old stitching. That way we can reuse that same welt and we don't pile up stitches on it. Once that's done, then we gotta go back and pull them out. 18 people on here. So if you can hear me, let me know where you're tuning in from. We got some people from Iceland already. Looks like we got about 18 people on here. Got some likes. I guess for those of you that just jumped on, we got 19 now. So what I was saying was, I did a live video, over the weekend, maybe Saturday. And we were talking about doing something like this, just hanging out. Because there's a lot of people that would love to hang out and just chat, chat boots or whatever, current events. I really need to do a Q&A video, because I get a lot of people messaging on social media or even other videos, and it just gets hard for me to just go through and respond to every single video or every single comment. How many boots have I fixed? Man, I can't even tell you. Hundreds, if not thousands probably by this point. A lot. A lot. There's been quite a few boots going through our shop. New York City. Probably cold up there in New York, isn't it? Oh, today? About 4 or 5 pair. Yeah, I've been at the shop since about 6:30 this morning. But I figured I'd jump on here real quick and it's not 40s, ain't too bad. It's like 50s here. Yeah, it's like in the 50s, 52. Yeah, when I was on a ranch, I used to work with a guy from Montana. And our weather, our 30s and 10s here was like a joke to him. He was out there in short sleeve shirts, and I was like, dude, you are nuts, bro. All right, so now we got the cork off of it. We got the cork off of it. Pick the stitches out. So I'm gonna start putting the, typically the way we work on these boots is you do as much as you can before you put it down. So, I took the heels off, I took the sole off, picked the stitches. Now I'm fixing to put the glue on it and try to put the sole back on it. But now I can start on the other one, because I don't have to put this one down. I can't do much more to it now once I put the glue for the new cork. So we're gonna do cork and shove some glue down in there. So we'll do that. And then we'll take this one apart. And then we'll get this one to the same point that we have this one, and then this is the new cork that goes in it. Maybe one of these days I'll get you guys out there so we can work on the custom boot bench. But these have some long nails. Look at them suckers, some long ass nails. JO shreds, but that doesn't mean, you know, they're all full soles and heels. That could have been something as simple as just plain heels, or I know some of them we were doing some build-ups on some. So now if it was a pair of custom boots, I mean, it takes about 40 hours to do one pair. So what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to split the glue from the sole. There we go. And then I always write the direction, so that's left. That way we put the heel bases. We try to save as much as we can from the boots. Obviously, sometimes you can't save everything, but we try to save as much as we can, just so they go back to the original as possible. And you always want to make sure the heel bases go in the same direction, same heel. Where are you guys chiming in from this morning? Oh, just drop something. That's a problem. Yeah. Come on now. This is what they call a McKay knife. Now you just want to be very gentle, because if it slips, you're going to stab your hand, which I've done before. But over time, you kind of just learn how to roll with it. Probably could use a little bit more sharpening, but this is one of those knives you don't want to have too sharp, because it will cut through much stuff. So let's see, some of the stuff out of here. And then after that, you just peel it back. Make sure you cut everything out. Go, and that's it. Like I said, on these, they use kind of sort of like a midsole, which is just cardboard, fiberboard stuff. I'm not going to put one on there because you don't need it. I was kind of hoping the foot beds would have been a little bit better quality, but they're not. So, again, just removing that old cork. Just do your best. That's all you can do. I know the question is going to come up. We are located in Reynolds, Georgia. We're down in Georgia, a little ways from New York City. Which, you know, I guess I didn't think about that till now. It might be better to do it at 3, because at 3, you know, a lot of people are either on break Or on the West Coast, they're on lunch break. Everybody's a little shy this morning, huh? We got 27 people on here, and everybody's shy. Except a couple people that are brave enough to say something in the comments. Say something. All right. I think they're doing some construction. Oh, meow. Right, meow. They're doing some construction down the road. I can definitely hear it. So now I'm going to pick the stitches out of this boot, and then we'll do the same thing. Not today. Not today. Not around here anyway. We got a lot of work to do. We got stuff that's been sitting in this shop longer than I would like, to be honest with you. Because we just moved into our new location, so. 22, that's cold. Where you at? Okay. KK. Where you at, Kay? Michigan. Yeah, that's cold. Ryan, I'm down in Reynolds, Georgia. But people do ship a lot of stuff into us, so that's good. So we're not strictly just going off of yeah. Yeah, okay. Just send them in. Yeah, we'll replace them for you. If you do ship them in though, make sure Ariat, what kind of soles do they have? Because a lot of it will depend on what kind of soles they have. There's certain types of soles that I'm not doing anymore, just for the sake of time. But if they're like the Benchmade that have like the leather soles or like the nicer rubber soles, we can replace them for you. And the reason I say that is because a lot of these Ariat boots, because I'm a dealer for Ariat too, we sell Ariat boots. And one of the things that I've noticed is a lot of times for the price of the resole, you can get you a new pair of boots. Unless like they're like the Benchmade, you know, which are like $300, $400, $500 boots. A lot of times for stuff like that, I mean, you know, it's worth it. CF, a lot of it just depends on what all we got going on. I'm telling people roughly about five to 6 weeks right now. And that just depends. I mean, it could be less, it could be more. But that's roughly about what I'm telling people, about 4 to 6 weeks. And we'll ship it back to you. Again, just if you ship them to us, just make sure you put your information inside the box. Well, cool. Happy you found us, Ryan. Yeah, just send them in. I think the furthest I've had people ship stuff in for us to repair was from, actually, this was even a repair job. The boots were brand new. He shipped them in from Belgium. And so, I mean, it was good ways. He shipped his boots in from Belgium for us to completely change the size of the boots. Now, we'll say that we don't offer that any longer because stuff like that is just, it's just so, it's one of, oh, appreciate the support, Kay. Really appreciate it. Made my day. But but yeah, Ryan, just send them in. I tell you what, Kay, just send me. Can you text me some pictures? If you text me some pictures, I'll look at them for you and let you know. But if they were that much, I'm assuming they're probably going to be like the Benchmade or something like that. Um, Actually, Kay, you know what? You are the. It says here you are the first because I just turned my little super chat things on. You are the first ever to leave a super chat on my channel. So thank you. If you go see if you go to my profile, you can find my information on there. Because I'd hate to give it to you over the live and then it come out wrong. So just go to my profile and you should be able to see all my contact information. And if you will, just text me and or email me some pictures, and I'll get back to you. If you call me, I have a AI assistant that answers my phone calls now, so I don't. I'm not stuck to the phone because, and to be honest, 90% of the people that call me, they either want directions, they want to know what we do, what our hours are, and how they can order boots. And so, whenever, so if you get my contact info, whether it's either my phone number or email, just send me some pictures. Phone is probably going to be better, but just you can find it on any of my profiles. It's up there. It should be on YouTube too if you click on my profile. Yeah, it helped. It helped us out a lot because, like I said, I'm the kind of person that if you're cool and you got something to talk about, I'm gonna sit there and talk to you about it. And we're gonna jump back and forth and talk about ideas and whatnot. And that's also, I guess, one of my weaknesses is I can talk. Okay. Okay, see if and just tell me who you are too when you send it over. Just tell me that you found me on YouTube, and I'll know. I'll remember you. That's cool, okay? Yeah, man. I'm actually having some work done on my truck by somebody here local. I got a '97 F350 with a 7.3 in it, and I've replaced a couple parts on it, but I need to have the fuel pump replaced. And quite frankly, I don't have the time to do it at the moment because we just have so much to do. We just moved into our new shop, and so we got to get that squared away. We got to get organized. We got to put shelves up. We got to paint. On top of that, we got to continue to fulfill these orders for the customers, and so I just don't have time to sit there. I've replaced a couple parts that I was able to do fairly quickly. But I think the fuel pump, since I don't do that for a living, may take me a little bit longer than a couple hours, I'm assuming. I mean, when it comes to making and repairing boots, I can build these things without even thinking about it anymore. But when it comes to doing stuff that I'm not used to, I got to think about it a little bit more. So, Yeah, I actually, before I had my 7.3, I had a 6.7. I had a 2017. Um, man, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Before I had that one, I had a 2017 F350 King Ranch. And I got a killer deal on it because I bought it from an old retired guy that had more money than he could shake a stick at. So he was just trying to get rid of the truck. I appreciate the super chat, CF. Thank you. And so, you know, the truck at the time, the bank told me, they were like, yeah, we'll loan you up to like $50,000 on the truck. And I was like, there's no way in the world I'm paying that much money for a truck. I mean, I just don't want those payments. And after I talked to the guy, I offered him what I was comfortable with, which was a lot less. It was in the 30s. I'll put it that way. It was like 30, 34, 35. And they told me come get it. So I got the truck for 35,000. And then, you know, the trucking market went crazy. So I ended up selling the truck again because the dealership just wouldn't stop bugging me about it. So I sold that truck again. And now I don't have a truck. Well, I got this, and then I ended up finding a 7.3 because I was like, we need a truck. And so I got the 7.3. And even on that, I felt like, I mean, I paid more than I wanted to pay for it, but the truck had it only has 77,000 miles on it. So in my opinion, that was a pretty good deal. All right. I'm sorry for that. That's Connecticut, right? Brandon? I'm a Mexican, man. You know, I thought we studied the maps in school, but yeah. Well, that's why I bought my 7.3, okay? Because it was, you know, because the title is at my house. And, you know, I owed money on that 7.3, on that 6.7, I mean. It was a really nice truck. I have 2 kids. They both cried when I sold the damn thing. And when we went to go pick up this 7.3, my oldest, when we were test driving and driving it around, he told me, he said, Papa, he's 5. So he said, Papa, how long are we going to drive this one for? And I told him, I was like, you know, we're not really in a rush to sell this one because we got the title to it, and it's a good truck, and it's only got 77,000 miles on it. So I'm hoping we can get it to 300,000 to 500,000 if we just take care of it from this point on. Because the guy that I bought it from, he wasn't, according to him anyway, he wasn't big into, he's not big into cars, especially diesel trucks. You know, because a lot of those diesel trucks, you can't just leave them sitting too long. And I think in 5 years, he didn't even put 10,000 miles on it. So, but no, I like my 6.7, and I like the 7.3. I just got to get this fuel pump replaced. Let me grab this down real quick. Well, mine is which probably needs to be taken care of too, but it's my 7.3 is a 5-speed. So, because when I was looking at getting them, I did some research on them. And they were talking about, because a lot of the automatic 7.3 transmissions, would give you a lot of issues, and they would start leaking, and so apparently the 5 speeds tend to hold up even better than the automatic ones. Which honestly, as long as they last, And so, but I told my kid, I was like, because I've already had people who see me drive it around town, because it looks pretty clean. People see me driving it around town, already asking me how much I want for it. So I told him, I was like, no, not selling this one. What I want to do is when my son gets a little older and we can save a little money, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have them paint it red. It's black now, but I want to save the money up. It may take years, ain't no telling. But I want to save up money to have it painted right, where they take all the panels off and they basically take it from being black and make it red. And that may take a while. I may just go back with the black for now, just because of time's sake, and it's already black anyway. But yeah, I've heard, you talk about the maintenance on those trucks, and one of the biggest things I hear is like, which this guy that I bought it from, kind of just let it sit, according to him, didn't drive it enough, is them sitting, because of the IPR valve and the cam stench, all that stuff will go bad, and that's what's going on with mine right now. I think the main thing was the fuel pump, but because I was already working on all that other stuff, I just went ahead and replaced it all. That way I knew it was fresh. Yeah, man. What does let me ask you this: what does a paint job run on those 7.3s? If I wanted to paint it red. No, mine's got the 8-foot bed on it. Well, 3,500 is not bad. I've talked to people around here, man. They're quoting me like 8 to 16,000. I was like, man, I can't do that. That's not bad, man. Yeah, you'll have to give me your info, because shoot, it'll be maybe worth the drive. How long does it usually take to paint it? Like, if let's say I took some time to drive it up there or haul it up there or whatever, how long would it take to have it painted? I'll have to look at for some reason it won't. Let me see. It won't let me blow up your picture for some reason. Probably because I'm on the live thing, but I'll look at it after I get done here. Because I mean, for that might be worth the drive. Go visit Michigan on the weekend for the weekend. Shoot, I'd be willing to trade. I'd be willing to trade some custom boots for a paint job now. I'll barter. Yeah, I'll trade you. That's what I've been trying to do with some of the people here. You know, because where we're at, it's a small town. So anytime I get a chance, I'll trade, man. I'll trade. I'm like, hey, man. You know, some guy came to me one time and he said, hey, I need some work done on my boots. And I was like, well, you do signs. And he hooked me up with a sign for my shop when we first opened up in this little town a couple years ago. And I redid some boots for him and stuff like that. So we'll barter. I'll barter with people all the time. I'm just trying to rough up the edge of that welt so I can get a better contact. Because with that grinder, that finisher, sometimes I feel like I get, it goes fast. You grind too much too fast. So this glue's strong, buddy. My wife was like, you need to get you one of those glue things that kind of sucks up the fumes. I agree with her. Yeah, shoot me a message and we'll get you fixed up. I'm good with it. And that way I'll have your contact info for whenever we decide to paint my truck. I'll hit you up. Because I don't have the money they're asking around here. But I might be able to save up enough to send it up to Michigan. You too, man. You have a good day. And then yeah, just hit me up. We'll get you worked up. See if I missed any comments from anybody else. Brendan. CF. CF, if you're still on, just message me when you get a chance. I'm probably going to have to get off here soon too. Just so we can start getting some stuff situated. Because on top of that, now we got some of these original Justin boots. So not only do we do cowboy boots, but we also repair. These are going to need more work than the other ones. These are actually going to need new welds, and we're going to replace that with leather. So let's see, we got 9 people on here left, so they're probably off their break now. I wonder if I can just put this up. Maybe. A lot of times you can just split the, if you can get in between where the glue is and split the glue, a lot of times you can get your little McKay knife in there. The key with a lot of this stuff is doing it at a consistent pace so you can get done with it in time. For me as a business owner, you know, I mean, I got to deal with the customers. So I talk to customers that come in the store, which honestly it's been a little bit better because we don't have kind of backed off a lot of the repairs due to the amount of orders we have for the custom boots. So it's been a little bit more manageable, I guess I could say. But at the same time, you know, I still want to make sure my customers are getting taken care of. Sometimes I hear a little noise out there, make sure nobody's trying to come in the store. All right. Let's see what happens. Yeah, it says we've been on here for an hour, so almost. So I guess we'll do the hour, and then we'll call it quits. But it was fun. It was fun chatting. May actually do this again at 3 and see who all hops on. You know, just trying to make a decision. Because I like to do it on TikTok too. There's a lot of cool people on TikTok. I'm not gonna say cool, I guess. This is a different demographic, but looks like we got a few people in here left. We got about 12. So, well, we just removed the whole midsole and the sole for this particular pair. We're gonna put a different set of soles on those boots. So what we want to do first is we're also removing the welt. Which actually, there's a reason why I suggested to have it changed. But the reason why I always suggest having these plastic welts replaced is because they'll start cracking. And I actually did a pair of boots, or a pair of work boots, the other day where the welt was cracked. As you can see, the whole footbed is coming apart there. So we'll have to re-glue all that back down. I'm trying to see if it'll pull off. Be so much easier if it did. Saves a lot of time. But a lot of times with this stuff, you can't really force it. You know, you have to just go. Sometimes if you grab it just right, it'll just pop off. What's going on, guys? Those of you just hopping on or coming in and out, I'm just talking boots and talking trucks earlier. I was talking some trucks with Kay in Michigan. This part that I'm pulling off this boot is actually what you call the welt. And this boot, it's all plastic. See? And we're going to replace it with leather. So it'll have a new leather welt and the new sole. And the soles are going to be made out of this sheet right here. So we should be able to get both of them and the heels. And then that'll be it for that sheet. So, but for now, we got to re-glue this footbed back on here. Looks a little brittle, honestly. If I ever have to do the gimming, like when we do the footbeds and we do the gimming back on the insole for these repairs, one thing that I do is I stitch the gimming to the footbed so that it doesn't come apart like it does here. Which it looks like I might have stitched it to the other side. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Gotta wait for the helmet to dry. Looks like we got about 3 more minutes, so if you have any questions, this will be your time to ask. Man, look at this one. This customer wore through this one. Well, that's the... About an hour, we'll probably cut it. Appreciate the guys and men and women that have stopped by the live. Again, I may do this at 3 p.m. Eastern time. just to kind of get an idea of when it would be good. I mean, I guess we can do it twice a day, Tuesday through Saturday. Unless something else happens, something happens. What I'm doing here is I'm just kind of splitting the glue. Randy Mauser, do you know how much about spats? I don't know much about spats. Can you elaborate a little bit more? All right, we're at an hour now, so I'll wait a minute or so for Randy. Seems to be that my closures aren't quite tight, but on paper they match up. It sounds like it's got to do with your patterning. I would go look at your patterns, and I don't know nothing about no spats, but when it comes to making patterns for like custom boots, one of the things that you have to keep in mind is your seam allowances or your So I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but like on this particular pair of boots, right? So you see that little seam right there? This measurement for the seam comes from the measurement of the heel measurement, which is here. Depending on this measurement from here to here will give us the patterns to make the closure for the boots. I don't know where you're having issues with your pattern, because there's got to be something with your patterns. Like for example, I know boot makers I will add like 1/8 of an inch for your seam allowance. I know guys who will not. They'll just stretch the boots out to the seam allowance and then let them dry. So there's a couple different ways to go about it, but without knowing exactly in more detail of what you're kind of referring to, I can't really give you any more feedback. The only thing that I can suggest is looking it up on YouTube or something, but based on what you're telling me, it sounds like it's going to be more of a pattern issue there. Hope that helps. Yeah, look into that, because I mean, if everything on paper is fine, there's got to be something with your pattern, like where your tolerances are. tolerances. Or for your heel measurement, all that. So yeah, check that out and see what happens. Well, appreciate you guys coming along here for hanging out with us for a little bit. I'm going to be done with this live here in a minute because I got to get some stuff ready to open up the shop here in about 20 minutes. I don't know if people are going to start showing up or not. It just depends. Sometimes they're lining up at the door. Sometimes they're not. But we got to make sure things are ready. Looks somewhat decent because we're still painting. I guess before we close it out, we can go do a little tour of the place. So it's messy right now. But this is where we do all our repairs, basically. All our repairs and stuff like that. The last, it's been modified to fit the customer's measurements. So, and then this is the rest of the store. The table is a mess because we're still trying to get everything situated. We moved everything here from the old shop. Making some belts. Here are my leather samples for our boots. Some leather here for some boots, just some cowhide. We got some kangaroo back there, some kid skin. Just some machines. Some old vintage machines, and then this is where we're painting, doing some painting. Obviously, it's going to need some more coats of paint. This right here is a pair of boots I made. Still haven't been picked up yet. So, but appreciate you guys stopping by. And like I said, I'm probably going to do this again at 3, just to kind of gauge out who hops on, you know, and when they hop on and whatnot, and see what works better for everybody. I know everybody's got a different schedule, so I'm not too sold on just one, but I've got trying to make it to where more people get on here, obviously, so they can get more value. I'll look some purple ostrich, fixing to make some boots out of it. Just came in the mail, so that'll be fun. But yeah, so we're going to try this again at 3 p.m. Eastern time, ish. You know, might be a little bit after, might be a little before, I don't know. Just depends on what goes on. And if you have any questions, just ask them. Ask them in the comments. Send me a message. Email me. And we'll be able to get your questions answered. If you want to jump on the live next time with me, come on. And we'll get it sorted out. Hope that works out for you, Randy. Anytime. Glad I was able to help. But yeah, with that being said, thank you guys for hopping on here, and we'll see you maybe at 3 p.m. Have a good one. Bye.